Hey guys, welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Tully, not to be confused with
Hello, it
Tully
is
from
me. I'm back. I'm Johnny Van Frank. You know me. You love me. You missed me. I am back. I am here suited and booted for the last official podcast of 2023. I am here now in the official Wrestling Junkies podcast blazer. You can get that on my website, johnnyvanfrank.com, to get all of your needs.
but we
Taco, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm
Are you
good.
frozen? What
Thank
happened
you.
there? You good? There he is. He didn't answer right away. Like, hey, we're happy to see you. It is the new year, getting ready to be. Not right now, not yet. We still got a couple days, but man, I am excited to talk with you of what has happened in 2023. But first, Mr. Taco Tully, I do have a note here from Eric that says, please make sure that the Neanderthal reads the social media stuff. So I think he means you. So go ahead.
Well, first of all, hi. Second of all, I just got a text from Eric that says that you got an ass whooping on layaway coming for cutting me off as I'm trying to.
I don't
reach
put things on
everybody to the
layaway.
show.
Straight cash, homie.
Anyway, welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Taco Tully. That's Jackass Fan Frank. Thank you so much for joining us for our last episode of 2023. We figured that Mr. Cincinnati and the podcast dad could use a bit of a vacation, so I came back early from Ibiza, hanging out with Avicii and just having a good time while you're just doing whatever the hell it is that you do on your vacation.
What's wrong with your visa?
I just came back from Ibiza, or Ibiza is how it's normally pronounced. So
Okay.
remember to hit that QR code in the top left corner, like, share, and subscribe. Congratulations to Mr. Cincinnati and the podcast staff for 500 plus followers on Twitter. They're trying to get to 1,000 across all their socials and social media in 2024. So help the guys out because they're really cool. While Mr. Van Frank's exorbitant contract demands have kind of pigeonholed us into the things that we can do in 2024, I got a super cool belt for just being awesome. So what do you say we talk about 2023 in review since they gave us this huge opportunity? When's the last time we got to host a show together?
Stop talking. And I will say,
Rude.
as of right now, right this second, we are at 551 on Twitter. Thank you to all of the followers out there. As the podcast dad says, just tell one friend. Tell one friend, and I bet you they would enjoy what they see. Maybe not so much with the fellow over here pouring. What we got there? A nice Cabernet.
It's a bottle of 19 Crimes. This is a red.
Okay, all right. This man doesn't know his wines, obviously, and a little bit more cultured. You coming from Israel, where you came from, or wherever you just returned
Ibiza,
from.
surprise set by DJ JJ Frankie JJ. Get it right.
All right, DJ Jazzy Jeff. That I remember that guy in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Let me say his name
Smith.
right.
Will Smith. That guy, he's something.
Okay, we spent too much time on these intros. Let's talk wrestling in 2023, buddy.
Don't call me buddy.
Okay, let's talk wrestling in 2023, my guy.
Okay, well, I'm not your guy either, but we can talk it. Where would you like to start, Mr. Taco Tully? Would you like to start about talking about probably the biggest moment of the year when Eric's favorite wrestler came back to the WWE when hell officially froze over?
Nah, we've talked about that a lot already. Let's go back in our way.
He moves numbers,
but let's go back in our Wayback Machine in the early parts of 2023. The feel-good story of 2023, at least the first half of it. Sami Zayn, easily the most surprising addition to what was seen as kind of the most serious story in WWE, and something that they had done in the last 10, 15 years that everybody really sank their teeth into. Sami Zayn was the everyman. He was just that lovable guy that found his way into a group that he should have never been in with in the first place. It's like, the guy that falls in with the cool kids in high school, and he's just rolling and enjoying the vibes, and then all of a sudden he's got to pick on his old buddies, and he's like, no, I can't do it. So he takes a chair to Roman's back, and everybody goes banana. Yeah.
What a moment. What a moment. And what a way to start off the year at the Rumble. Cody winning the Rumble after returning from the pec injury was the major deal. Gunther was made in that match where we kind of established him as a major star. And then
also, congrats to Gunther and Jenny for the birth of their baby.
Yes, congratulations. Many more to come. I would hate to be disciplined by Gunther, but hey, be on your best behavior, kid.
Hopefully, he didn't have to spank the kid once he was born.
Well, the doctor would get a nice little chop if that happened. But yeah, Sami Zayn turning on the bloodline. What a moment. It was the first of kind of, I would say, a year of like nuclear crowd moments that we saw,
For
where
sure.
it just seemed like the whole place erupted, and kind of two or three pop off in my head. Obviously, this one, I would say the one where Jimmy turned in Saudi Arabia, when
Yeah.
Jay turned, and then when Punk returned. I think those were kind of the four biggest ones we had this year, and each one.
Bad Bunny's entrance, though.
Bad Bunny was a great one. Yes, yes. You are. Hey, when you're right about 50% of the time. So good job.
Chambea.
Huh?
Chambea.
Jambalaya.
Allah. That's very good. You ever been to New Orleans?
I have been to New Orleans.
That's awesome.
Me and Alex
What's it-
Trebek went down there for Mardi Gras one time, and that man loves his chicken wings, if you know what I mean.
I went for a bachelor party once about 5 years ago, and within the first 12 hours, here's exactly what happened. You know what? This is a story for another time. But yeah, anyway, New Orleans is really cool. Kevin Owens also having his moment at the Royal Rumble, too. Let's not forget that bump, probably one of the biggest bumps I can't talk right now, that we saw of the year. Him taking those steps just right against the head.
Brutal.
Brutal. Just want to point that out there.
Brutal. It was a tough spot to watch. I know he's done it on a weekly show, and we were like, oh, you should probably save that, and saved it for the Rumble. But yes, Kevin and Sammy did get their biggest moment, I would say, at WrestleMania Night 1 in the main event, which was a really, really fun time. We kind of saw the official end, in my view, of the bloodline, or the official, crumbling of the bloodline at that show. Also on that show, we want to give a nice shout out to Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, who I think were a little jaded. You see what I did there? We're a little jaded with not being the main event of Night 1, and went out there and said, look what we can do.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that we've had, now there's been several months that have passed, do you still think it was the right call to put the tag team titles on instead of Rhea Charlotte last? Okay.
Absolutely. That was the main storyline going into the show. It was all bloodline. It was the bloodline at the hottest point that it had been. I think the peak of the story, we saw, the rise of Sami Zayn, and then we saw kind of it go down after the SummerSlam match. I would say from Mania, or I would say from the Rumble to SummerSlam was kind of the peak of the bloodline storyline. And now we're kind of on that downward trend of it. But throughout the summer, throughout the spring, the bloodline was as hot as anything in the company.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree completely. I mean,
you should. I'm right. Like I always am. Yeah, tacos today?
Biting everybody in the ass. What?
Yeah, any tacos today? Or you're just winding it up?
Yeah, no, I'm switching it out here.
Switching what out?
Switching out the tacos for the red wine.
So
I'm a
now
classy dude.
So now you're red wine Tully?
No, I'm still Taco Tully. Yeah, I mean it's right. It's right there.
I can't read.
So how did you get this job? Okay.
I can only read grids, pal.
Okay.
And trivia, which we will be having a ton of new trivia in 2024. Will anybody get that title? Or will it stay with Johnny Van Frank for another year as he dominates the landscape, kind of like Roman has done this whole year, and also kind of like an AEW champion has for the bulk of this year?
Max Friedman has dominated this entire calendar year as AEW champion, and I know you don't read, but there was a wonderful article that Max put out in the Players Tribune, and I'm sure that there's not really going to be a text-to-audio version that's available for you right now, but if you do have a couple of minutes, how's Bill? He made it to the finals in our league. Tell him I'm so happy for him.
What?
We made it to our fantasy finals. He's fighting for a chip.
Some would describe me as a fantasy.
I'm not one of them. Sorry, buddy.
Hey, that's all right.
Nah, you're not my type. Anyway, if you haven't had a chance to read the Players Tribune article that Max put out today, Basically, it is a thank you to the fans that support AEW and a gigantic go F yourself to people that just intentionally want to see AEW fail. And I think that's been a lot of the discourse that Mr. Cincinnati and the podcast that have had this year is about, competition is good for everybody. WWE has stepped their game up immensely because there is another billionaire that has the money to put out a compelling wrestling product. Has AEW succeeded on every level? Absolutely not. But you can admit that the existence of AEW has helped everybody else in the industry step up because it gives everyone that is not in a position to go to WWE another area to succeed. And because AEW and Tony Khan believe in professional wrestlers being what they are, independent contractors, we're starting to see people that still get to go work other dates elsewhere and then come back and do what they got to do for AEW, which is good for everybody because we're starting to see a lot of these independent promotions thrive and take off because people still get to go from company to company to have great matches and work with people that they want to work with. That makes everybody better. So again, if you haven't had a chance to read that article, definitely do. And in your case, Bill read it to you.
Did it seem like a thank you letter as in I'm going away, or did it seem as a thank you letter as I'm staying and I appreciate everything you've done for me and continue to do it for me, or was this kind of just a singular
So there are plenty of people on the internet that will say that this is him absolutely staying and that he's signed, it's confirmed. It's not, because he says in that piece, I have no idea what's going to happen after Saturday. Those are it's in that article. At least according to Max, he's beat up. He's on painkillers, which in his words, he hates.
It's a dark road.
Yeah. And it's just when you see the body of work from Max Friedman this year, and I think this is an appropriate time to kind of talk about his year in professional wrestling. We've started with WWE. Let's transition it over to AEW. Max has been I think, for lack of a better word, a polarizing figure this year. He started off as the hottest heel. He's ending the year as one of the hottest baby faces, and I don't think that anybody saw that coming. No.
I may disagree with you saying one of the hottest baby faces.
Okay.
I think he's a very popular baby face, but I think this storyline has kind of hurt.
Okay, one of the most popular baby faces. If you're gonna,
because he's not even getting the most cheer in his own company at this moment.
Okay, that's fair, but think about the transition he's made, because this is a guy that everyone wanted to punch in the face at the beginning of the year. And now here we are sharing this piece from the Players Tribune that has everybody just in love with the guy. So I stand by what I said. You, quite frankly, can kiss my ass. But when I think about what Max is
spreading love here.
I'm not done. We are spreading love. I would love it if you kiss my ass. Now, if I could go back to my original point here, all that I'm saying is that when it comes to what his decision is, at this point, until I hear something concrete, I still think that he is open to go anywhere. John Moxley was world champion when he didn't have a contract either. There is a precedent there. And with the way that Max speaks glowingly of Tony Khan, I would imagine nothing but him being the consummate professional when it comes to how he's going to handle this situation, work out his contract. He's here. As we sit here right now, he's still under an AEW contract. He's still got a job to do. So that's what he's going to do, and he's going to show some love to AEW. This was a love letter to AEW and professional wrestling.
All right,
you can speak.
Oh, well, thank you. I was just making sure. Sure.
You're welcome. Of course.
Taco got a little hot there.
Bud.
Taco got a little hot.
It did.
I don't know if I like taco in the red wine. I think it brings the dark side out.
I'm just thinking about the contract that you've got that I don't. So
you got a belt. I didn't.
You have a contract. You can buy 1,000 of these things.
Nah, not until they go on sale. Johnny's a little thrifty sometimes. Johnny only spends a lot of money on booze. So I'm still on the fence. Me as Johnny Van Frank. I'm still on the fence here as whether he is re-signed or not. To me, I don't think they would tease all this stuff on television if he is not re-signed. They're teasing the stuff with Swerve. They're teasing the stuff with Wardlow. They're teasing the stuff. They still haven't finished the Adam Cole story. So I think he's re-signed. That's just me.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
That's fair.
I also think there is added motivation for Tony Khan because he lost CM Punk. He was not able to keep CM Punk. And I think Tony Khan goes, I don't want to lose another big star to WWE, because that has been their thing, is taking those big stars and taking those big free agents that WWE potentially wants, i.e. a Jay White, a Will Ospreay, potentially an Okada. Like, I think that's where he's going, is I'm not going to lose another big fish in this kind of arms race that we've been seeing over the past year.
Yeah, but I mean, was that really a loss of CM Punk as opposed to
Yes.
it was a year fired? I wouldn't necessarily see that as a loss because, quite frankly, he didn't have to take it to termination. Again, we weren't there for Brawl Out. We weren't there for Brawl In. We weren't there, so we are never going to know what happened. I mean, there are some tidbits we can probably find out. CM Punk and Ace Steel's attorney was on Rumor and Innuendo podcast. Shout out to Nick Hausman, also a fellow King of the Hill fan like Mr. Cincinnati. But there is no way of knowing. I've heard better.
Oh, well, that's all right. Ask Chris Jericho. He might tell us.
And that Bryan Danielson isn't going to find him either. Like, no. he's oh no, you're cool. Yeah. No. Oh, Jericho. That's
Chris, you're fine. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, does Tony Khan really look at that as a loss per se?
He should. Look,
say what
you want about CM Punk. The man moves numbers.
Not saying he doesn't. Mr.
In a good way or a bad way. In a good way or a bad way. Did it work in AEW? It didn't. And it didn't. And it is, Punk gets blamed for a lot of it. I think Tony Khan needs some of the blame for it because he sat there while Punk went off on the company. Because I guarantee if a Triple H, a Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, if Punk
even
Hayes,
Michael Hayes would have pulled him off of that stage if he had to.
Exactly. Well, once that would have started, those people would have cut that off. I think Tony was a little bit. That had never happened to Tony Khan, so I don't think he knew what to do. But
I don't know. Here's where I call BS on that.
Call it.
The NFL is one of the most lucrative, cutthroat, and just all-around dirtiest businesses and entertainment properties that exist, okay? Mr. Cincinnati has his own thoughts about the way the Bengals front offices ran and how things are going for the playoff push, but it's neither here nor there, especially when the Browns make it to the playoffs and confront,
Who would have thought that a team that is primarily with a quarterback name.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing Johnny Van Rank right now. What is going on tonight?
This is Bill and the Dan.
I don't know what's going on, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
Just admit Joe Flacco's the better Joe.
Those are fighting words, you son of a...
Admit it. Admit it. No, it's true. Yeah.
Right. No, this is a place of positivity. I'm not
So
going
the other
do
thing
that
I do want to touch
ahead.
on.
Yeah.
Is it Nick Jackson's wife that's leaving the company?
Matt Jackson. Yeah.
Matt Jackson. Okay, so it's Matt Jackson's wife. And you need to turn your phone on silent. How dare you?
Sorry that I'm so popular.
How dare you? I don't care if it's chitty chitty bang bang texting you. You need to put it on silent.
You can just say chitty bang.
I don't know what that means.
What, you don't know the band Chitty Bang? Really? Okay. All right. Go ahead. Come on.
I don't know who Azrael is or whoever you said in the beginning of the show.
Well, Azrael was a guest that was on our show last week. Thank you for joining us. That was super awesome. He tags us in everything. Yeah. I was talking
Pop the
about
boys
being
in
in
the truck on
Ibiza.
that one. That was pretty good. Anyway, the report coming out is that she is upset that Tony Khan didn't really defend the Bucks as well
I would be too.
because she said she knows everything that happened. So does that cause some strife? Like, are we going to look at this and go, maybe the
Yeah.
Bucks and Kenny Omega regret re-signing with the company? That's another thing we need to look at. So there's like the year for AEW.
I wouldn't say regret.
Okay, okay, and that's fine.
I would not. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Let's bring the vibes back in. I know that we've been a little hot.
I would say AEW, while the wrestling was very good, and nobody is going to debate that. And if you do debate that, you're an idiot. Because if you don't think they had multiple match of the year candidates, you're stupid. And I don't care what anybody on the internet says, and I'm going to get angry here.
Yeah.
All the internet wrestling community and all the stupid tribalism, enjoy the wrestling. They had some very, very good matches, and nobody can debate that.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're an idiot, and that's just how it is. However, behind the scenes and storytelling, kind of a bumpy road in 2023. So I am excited to see in 2024 maybe Tony Khan take more of it. And you son of a... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Sorry that I'm popular.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Turn the ding off.
Fine, I will turn
Thank
it
you.
down.
Thank you. This is a professional show, and you're sitting here.
Yeah, I know.
Why is your phone so large?
It's an iPad.
Huh?
It's an iPad. Is that better?
You're an iPad. So I want to see Tony Khan take a little bit more of an authoritative, that role, more than being, and to use it as a football term,
Yeah.
a player's coach.
That's what bothers me so much about this is
Yeah.
you are the son of an NFL owner, and they deal with 53-man rosters all the time in one of the most chaotic franchises that this league has, and yet you still can't figure out how to run a wrestling promo.
Yep. Look, it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year for AEW.
No, this like look. Here's the thing. I am not saying that AEW is going under in 2024. AEW is not going under anytime soon. I hope that they don't, because competition is good for everybody. But the fact that you have got significant amounts of front office people leaving in droves because of how the company is presenting outward facing when it comes to issues such as these, get it together. Dana Massey is an integral part of getting this company off the ground. Absolutely was. And she's leaving because she doesn't feel like her husband and her brother-in-law were defended during one of the most controversial moments that this company has ever seen. United front, and you know what? Here, because let's look at, okay, let's name any other sort of thing that WWE dealt with usually and how they would have handled it. Steroid trials, Vince was out in front and center of that. Montreal, Vince was out in front and center for that. Everybody had what they wanted to say about Shawn Michaels, but Vince was like, I'm going to take this one on the chin. Tony Khan has not done that in any one of these situations here. Not one bit. And regardless of whether he believes that he should or he shouldn't, the buck stops with you.
See what you did
It's
there.
not that hard. I see what I did there, yeah. But it stops with him.
No,
Defend your EVPs.
But that's how it should be. It should stop with him. Like, again, he should have at that moment put an end to it. And unfortunately, you know, this is what, almost 2 years old now. This
Yeah, we're still talking
brawl
about
out, and you know, it's a black eye for AEW. It is. It's like when the steroid trial happened in the WWF. It was a black eye for the WWF for a while. Like, again, the XFL, black eye. They lost a lot of money on that. A lot of the controversial things they do. But like you said, they're out in front of it. I think Tony needs a little bit better PR. Maybe it's a PR team. And I think we've discussed this in the past. I think he needs a better team around him. I think we need to take some stuff off his plate. And maybe that's what the Danielson role will be in 2024 as he kind of winds down his in-ring work. So hopefully that will help. But yeah, I think maybe he's stretched himself out a little too thin. And pull it back. Get creative again.
Yeah.
Make AEW what AEW is. I think the problem will go away, right? Next year will people, still be talking about this if they have a great year? Probably not. But they need to have a great year. They're going to what looks like a 12, pay-per-view model. They have a TV rights. They have a TV rights deal coming. Like, it's going to be a really, really big year. They have a Will Ospreay coming. They're doing Wembley again. Like this, They have the momentum to do it. Go out and do it. And we want to see them do it. That is the thing that people need to understand is we want to see them do it.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to see them do it because wrestling competition, like you said, is great for us.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody kind of needs to understand. Do you remember 2012 to 2015, 2016 WWE? It sucked. It sucked. And I'll go back to like 2010. 2010 to like 2017 sucked.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again. I like where we are. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, so let me ask you this. Does 2024 for AEW hinge on getting this devil story right tomorrow night?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I think it does.
I don't think it does. Look, it's a failed story. Okay? Move on. Rip the Band-Aid off. You've had failed stories before. WWE's had failed stories before. WCW had failed stories. ECW had failed stories. TNA had failed stories. Guess what? You don't hit them all out of the park. What's that famous quote? Like, Vince always just needed the next home run or whatever. Like, you throw stuff at the wall, see if it works. What it's going to take is Tony going, okay, swallow your pride. This idea didn't work. Move on. Move on. That's it.
But this is very much a different Tony Khan from Tony Khan now compared to Tony Khan when Dark Order story didn't work. These are two, like, there has been a maturation and evolution as a wrestling owner, promoter, booker. I feel like that could create some additional headache. That's just me.
But guess what worked? That also was going on during the storyline. The Continental Classic.
It did.
So, boom. There's an idea that worked. You have to at least try them. I cannot fault Tony Khan for at least trying it. It just didn't work. So, move on. Should they have ripped the Band-Aid off sooner? Probably. But they didn't. Oh well. This is wrestling. We saw Retribution. We've seen Aces and Eights. We've seen the NWO rise and fall hard. So, it didn't work. That's okay. And that's what everybody, again, needs to know on the internet. It's okay if everything doesn't work. It's fine.
Yeah, but I feel like much like Gretchen Wieners, he's still going to try to make fetch happen. That's all I'm thinking, and that's what worries me.
If they just end it tomorrow, then we'll be fine. And it's all good. Reveal it's Adam Cole. Have him be with the Kingdom that are the new Ring of Honor champions. Excuse me. And then drop it. Like, there you go. There you go. Who can you remember the Suffering Succotash promo from Roman? But I'm saying, do you remember that?
I remember it.
Look, it didn't work.
He's bounced back.
His face run didn't work. But guess what they did? Hey, let's try something new. And now he is a bona fide, one of the top guys to ever be in that company. So, yes, you can change the narrative.
So he had to go away for several months, but
So that's part of it. That is part of it. Like, change the course. Tony Khan is the one person that can change the narrative with that, and not that other promotion that didn't work. But you know which one I'm talking about.
Well, it's all right. EC3 is doing perfectly fine right now.
He is.
And big ups to Braun Strowman. If you didn't see EC3 and Cardona, I think it was Great Lakes Championship Wrestling that I watched earlier this week. I apologize. Great match in their main event for the Premier Streaming Network Championship and the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
And that's
EC3
another one.
getting the wins there.
That's another one that's going to be on TV. NWA.
It's not going to be on TV. I'm pretty sure it's just the app for right now, but I'll have to double check that.
But there's a lot of good stuff out there because competition breeds great stuff.
Yeah, and Nick Gage Invitationals tomorrow.
That's right. How many viable companies are there right now to make money?
So many.
So enjoy wrestling. And when we are sitting here and we're debating what we're talking about, I want everybody to remember, yes, I am fantastic and my hair is great and I look great. But deep down, I'm still that Mark inside that loves wrestling and will always love wrestling. And I want wrestling to be in a good spot. So yes, I can talk critically about everything. I'm allowed to. Because again, I don't want it to go back to the toilet. I lived through the 2010s. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, the Authority didn't do us any favors.
The Authority.
Remember when we were the Authority for a while?
Yeah, that 1 week.
Yeah, it's just,
But
I felt so seen and so heard, and then they're like, oh, no, sorry.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and look, it was a great year. It really was. And I think 2024 is going to be even better than 2023. If you were to give me, and I'll cut it off at 3. Give me 3 things you're most looking forward to in 2024. Cut that. Give me 2 for each company.
Okay. WrestleMania 40 is going to be the most commercially successful event that WWE has ever produced. Doesn't matter the region, doesn't matter whether it's a house show, TV, pay-per-view, it doesn't matter. They're going to print money.
I mean, it is pretty convenient where it is this year. Just saying.
The other thing I'm looking forward to the most is Cody finishing the story, because I think that he absolutely.
You turned me off again?
Yes,
bastard.
I did. Well, yeah. If you're gonna,
are you in cahoots with Bill?
You realize how much he dislikes you, right?
That's fine. Who writes his check?
The junkies do.
That name on the check says JVF, baby.
Yeah, but you obviously didn't read your contract, did you? So anyway, Cody finishing the story.
We've established
I think
I can't read.
So yeah. Then wait, how? So that means that there's at least probably 4 something marks that either myself or Mr. Cincinnati should have won, right?
No, you guys are losers.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
Cody finishing the story. Go ahead.
2 things in AEW that I'm excited about. Is that the prompt?
What
excited about?
Looking forward to.
For AEW, I'm definitely looking forward to another Continental Classic. I'm still waiting to see how. I'm still waiting to see how having the Triple Crown actually works for them. But this tournament has produced some of the best TV that they've ever put together. You can't. It's hard to not be excited by that. And then number 2. So help me God, if Trish Adora is not the first AEW Women's World TV Champion, I just.
Yep, I know you and Eric are on that corner.
I might. She. I mean, what's not to love about her?
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
I love Billy Starks too. Don't get me wrong. However, Trish
She's
Adora.
got plenty of time.
Yes, she does. Trish Adora should be on TV each and every single week. That's the hill I'm going to die on. Okay.
All right. For me, WWE. First one, you were right. WrestleMania. It's going to be. I mean, it might be the biggest WrestleMania of all time. We have.
It will be.
2 nights where the main events are going to be absolutely ginormous.
Banana.
With CM Punk and Seth Rollins. And then I would say night 2, Roman and Cody, number dose, which.
Numero.
I have a feeling in my gut that we're going to hear that familiar song play at the end of the night. And we're all going to have to raise one finger in the air and acknowledge our tribal chief.
I feel like we got to put a wager on that.
We might. The second thing I'm looking forward to is the influx of NXT talent on the main roster in 2024.
Yeah.
With a Carmelo Hayes. With, I know she hasn't been in NXT, but a Jade Cargill. Like this new, fresh crop of NXT and newer stars that we're going to see. Like a Braun Breaker. That's another big one that we're going to see. Does a Trick Williams make his way on the roster?
Tyler Bate.
Like we're going to get some very strong personalities, some very strong wrestlers, a Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez. Like we're going to get a nice influx of fresh talent on that
Let me
main
ask you.
roster.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
So we know the names that are guaranteed shoe-ins to make or be considered for main roster in 2024. Who are you excited about taking the reins of NXT in 2024?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked me that because I have one bold prediction for 2024.
Lay it on me.
At one point, your NXT heavyweight champion will be Lexus King.
You're saying that.
I am saying that.
Your alter ego would not say that, like, at all.
He would not. He would not. But
He would not. Mine would.
I am willing to put some money down and say that Lexus King will be the NXT champion.
Why not? I mean, why not? I mean, it's like there's a lot about that. There's a lot about that character that works. First of all, I love his entrance. It's very rock star. It's very Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you remember the spinning throne.
Of course I do. I remember for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mentioned it earlier. Were you not listening?
I probably wasn't, but
thank you. Ilya Dragunov too, main roster. Yeah. Cannot forget him. But go ahead, Lexus King.
Lexus King. I don't know that many bold predictions just yet. I'm excited.
I still have to give my looking forward to for AEW, but I guess you're going first, so that's fair.
Fine. Go ahead.
AEW wise. Yeah, thank you. Let me finish. I let you finish and give you your predictions, so all right. AEW, the most thing I'm looking forward to, or the biggest thing I'm looking forward to in 2024 is the continued rise and coronation of Swerve Strickland in AEW. Another one. He will be AEW champion in 2024. He has to be. They have so much momentum with this guy. He has to be. The second one I'm looking forward to is All In number 2.
Okay.
And how they capitalize on that, because Will Ospreay is going to be on your roster. Are they able to pull this off again, and will this be another huge success for them, or was the novelty of the first one what got them through it? Was a CM Punk being on the card getting them through it? Was an MJF being the champion because those are two variables that we know. One that will not be on that card is CM Punk. Yeah. Will MJF be there? We don't know. And are they banking on a Will Ospreay selling that? Or are they going to be able to kind of put together, in my opinion, better storylines to go into that? Because I think the spectacle of it is what sold it last time. I think you have to put more effort in the stories this time.
I think the spectacle still does play a lot into that, because a lot of the big story this year was how Money in the Bank was in the O2 Arena. AEW did Wembley. Now, whether Wembley, like, this would only be the second wrestling show, at least All In last year was only the second wrestling show that stadium has done. And if I'm wrong, somebody please politely tell me on the internet. Just don't be a dick about it. But I think that there's still the novelty of, if Wembley doesn't host wrestling all that often, that plays into AEW's interest there. I think what we need to look at, and this is the question I have for you, is you still believe that Max is re-signed? Who's to say that Swerve can't take that mantle, take that Max Friedman-sized place and ride it to the moon?
I think he could, but I recommend it to everybody. Cultaholic, going over the golden age of the WWF. Go watch that documentary. It's fantastic.
Worth the 8 hours, yeah.
But WrestleMania 1 was that big gamble. All In 1 was that big gamble. WrestleMania 2, they had to,
Well, they tried to do it in 3 different cities.
And again, but it was the second one, right? So what are they going to do to make that one feel as big as the first one? That is my... Fair. Because at this point, WrestleMania 40, right, it sells itself. WrestleMania sells itself now.
Yeah.
All In doesn't sell itself quite yet, in my opinion. Because they're going back to the same place for second year in a row. Do you remember, Brooklyn SummerSlam for 5 years in a row, kind of tapered off towards the end, right? Do they get that same attraction? I know the pre-sale has gone very well. No matches announced, but I think going into this one, you need storylines, and that's just me.
There's one big aspect that we're kind of missing with this as well. We don't know what's going to happen with Kenny Omega. We don't know when he's coming back to the ring. And if I had to guess, a big selling point of getting Ospreay to sign with AEW is Omega Ospreay 3 at Wembley. Now there is still a lot of time, Lord willing, that Kenny is upright, able to get back into the ring and be ready for that match. But that is a major plan to have to try to change if he is not able to. So I think that also could have some impact on what happens with that show.
Not all diverticulitis is created equally. It knocked Brock Lesnar down, but you had another one with the former D.H. Smith, British Bulldog son. Yeah. He was out for 3 months.
That's true. Yeah.
So we don't know what that looks like.
Yeah. I really don't know a whole lot about the illness itself. So if anybody
it varies from how it affects people. So
sure.
It just it's like any other injury, right? If your body takes to the treatment well, then you'll be back.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is this close to trying to make a comeback for the Jets.
They needed him last night when the Better Joe of Ohio got a big win and clinched the better team for this.
Yeah, I'm not going to listen to any of that hocus pocus yet. I'm just going to let him get his piece out. Like he's fine. He looks so cute in the corner there.
And
anyway.
It was.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm just gonna let him. I'm just gonna let him get all out here. He's just it's fine. Sometimes Johnny just needs a quick little timeout. That's all we're saying here.
He was falling.
Yeah.
You look at the Browns' injuries. No Nick Chubb. Buddy.
And anyway, I think that it's only appropriate.
It's Joe Flacco. Here. That is Joe Flacco.
Part of me thinks that when I cut the camera out that you're just gonna stop talking and.
Nope.
Like I can't.
I like hearing myself talk. In case you don't know.
That's not attractive. Anyway, let's move on to the women's division in 2023. Just across the whole, man. There's
Sasha Banks will be back. It's gonna be fantastic.
Okay. Well, I mean I agree. I agree with that. But let's look at some awesome moments that we have seen this year. Charlotte Flair remains unparalleled. It's super unfortunate that she suffered the injury this close to WrestleMania. Sounds like this is gonna be the first one she misses in I think it's 7-8 years that we've had her on the card for Mania. So that definitely sucks. Absolutely. But this is a time to build back better. And I'm excited about that for her because I don't know. Babyface Charlotte Flair just doesn't work.
It doesn't. It
just doesn't. She's her father's daughter. She's a natural heel.
It's like the podcast dad's best friend, The Miz. Like it just doesn't work. I heard you got. Okay. I heard not you, but
I was gonna say I didn't
your
do
buddy,
anything.
your buddy Eric got him in some hot water on that one. Look,
all I did was point out the similarities that
I'm gonna call out. Shut your mouth. I'm gonna call out both companies in major North American sports, entertainment, whatever the hell you want to call it. 2024 needs to be better for women's wrestling.
We need a proper women's tag division.
You both failed at it in 2023. Period. You both failed. Yeah. So make it better. And
Chelsea Green was the savings grace of the women's tag division in 2023.
Didn't take much. It took somebody to care.
But there was a certain podcast dad that didn't think that her return was really going to move the needle. And what happened? She moved the effing needle. And shout out to the World Elite Podcast. We had a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much.
Yes, it was a great holiday. I got a call from the podcast dad with another bold prediction from him. Breaking news. Put it on the ticker. His prediction for Chelsea Green in 2024 is that she will win the Money in the Bank. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, speaking of pipes, Piper Niven could be her heater during that entire Money in the Bank run. That is what's brilliant because we also need to rebuild Piper Niven as the absolute powerhouse that she is. They've done a marvelous job of that this year. I was super worried when she returned at the Rumble with still kind of that sort of same like the entrance video. Basically, they just changed the name, but also just kind of the same vibe. But I mean, she's one of those people because your favorite wrestler, Nia Jax, returned, and everyone was wondering, well, Piper Niven could be that powerhouse. Well, okay, yeah. I mean, I remember that, dude. I was there. I'm just saying, your favorite wrestler, Nia Jax, came back, and Piper Niven could have easily been that monster powerhouse heel that just ran through everybody on the roster. But I'm loving the chemistry that she has with Chelsea Green. I think that they need to remain a team for the foreseeable future, build up tag teams for the women's division, and make them stick. Whether they will do that remains to be seen. But
I have confidence. They've done a good job towards the end of the year.
They have,
and that's what I'm saying. I think there's momentum in both companies. Keep going, make it a better year. Hey, AEW, maybe one of the women's matches can main event a pay-per-view this year. Have that be your challenge.
Athena could main event any one of their shows.
Athena and Timeless Toni Storm.
Hands down. Ooh,
give me that.
Give me that one-on-one.
Title unification.
Oh, no, it doesn't need to be unification. Just the, ow. I like where your head's at.
But that's what I'm saying. That is the challenge for both companies that I will throw out that nobody will ever listen to because what do we know? But make your women's divisions better. I think they're on the right road to it, but I think both companies have some momentum towards it. Let's keep it going.
Just sticker falling off.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You want to talk about unprofessional. Shut your mouth.
I'm just saying, like it looks like it's getting ready to fly there.
Okay? How do I make you disappear? How do I do this? Bill, get over here. Bill, how do I? Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Nope, that's not it, Bill. Bill, fix it.
There's that contract biting me in the ass again.
Bill fixed it. Bill? I got a pop-up window here. All right. The other bold prediction that the podcast dad has is that he will get another title.
Who is he? Pronouns, pal.
I just said the podcast dad. Do you listen?
The podcast dad will get another title?
Do you see this behind me? That he's letting me use his studio.
Oh, you mean he'll buy another belt. Got it.
Well, no, he has plenty of belts, but he only has one title.
Okay, well, Mr. Cincinnati's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
one of those doesn't really count because I'm not sure what that Bengals title is. I don't know if they've won. So
it's commemorative.
That's about the only thing they've won, isn't it?
For now.
God, I cannot wait till Joe Flacco wins the Super Bowl.
I wish you wouldn't have said that. I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Anything else, Stocko, before we head out on this great Friday night and I go to bed?
I sincerely hope that at some point in January, Christian McCaffrey carves all of you up.
Who's all of you? Who's all of you?
All of the Eagles.
See, here's the thing is you guys talk about your NFL. I'm a big CFL guy. I like the Canadian Football League. So
my team's the Montreal Alouettes.
Okay.
Who's yours?
That one team. The Calgary Flames.
That's a hockey team, but okay.
Big fan of that. They have the white field and they use sticks. The CFL, great league. Great league. Also, I'm a classy guy, so I enjoy the game of cricket.
You don't seem like the kind of guy that's up at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning to watch cricket games.
Well, they've created this thing, and I don't know if you've seen it. It's called a DVR, so I can tape it.
It's 2024, and you're still DVRing/taping things. Got it. Okay, right. You're not helping yourself here.
Bill helps me out, and he puts the cassette tape in, and then we tape it, but I do have to rewind it sometimes.
Say you're a father or two without saying you're a father or two.
I don't know how many kids are out there, buddy. Well, Johnny gets around.
You know what? Whatever. Here's how I think that we need to end this show, and this is completely unprompted. So I'm gonna get rid of the hat here for a second. Johnny, take your sticker off. This is Mr. Cincinnati.
Who is this?
Yeah, like no. Come on, Chris. Let's do this. Let's do this. I think that this is what needs to be done to end the year here. We have had a lot of fun. We have laughed. We have cried.
This has squealed like a girl.
A bunch of times. That's not the point. Anyway, realistically, let's put all the gimmicks and frills aside. And I'm glad that you agree with me because he didn't know that I was gonna do this. But I think no, it is not in our notes. Well, you say that like we had show notes this time or any other time over the last 6 months. But yeah, this has been a wonderful 2023 getting to bring this content to you guys. There's exactly one person watching this show, and I guarantee it's just the YouTube I've got going on my phone just to make sure that the stream is still going.
I give a damn.
I know. I'm just saying this is our time to take off the gimmicks, shed the gimmicks, and just talk about, very briefly a year in review for the Wrestling Junkies. And we appreciate everybody that has liked, subscribed, watched, put up with us sending links. It's not easy to do something like this and to get it off of the ground, but the fact that here we are a year into doing this and feeling like there is some momentum and traction being gained, we want to thank everybody that has done this. I know that we have put out a video saying thank you, but this is our last show of the year, and I think that for at least a handful of minutes, they should see, they should see Chris, they should see Tyler, and yeah, I know you well enough to call you Tyler, so.
No, you don't. My own wife doesn't even call me that.
I know, it's a Mr. Feeney thing. Anyway, that show was also set in Philadelphia. You should know what it is, all right?
I don't know what that is.
God, you never watched Boy Meets World? How old are you, 12?
29. Was that the one Vader was on?
Yeah, that's the... Anyway, no, we
Wrestling Junkie.
There we go. We appreciate everybody that's been along for this ride. I just kind of want to do a year in review with you. I mean, just because I've never asked this question really before, but when I came to the idea with this show, first thoughts that came to your mind, other than what the fuck is this guy talking about? Yeah, I said it. It's my show, but we're not monetized, so
we're not monetized. But I'm gonna keep it clean because I have children. My first thought was, kind of caught me off guard.
I know, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, my first thought was, let's see where this goes. See if this lasts. I didn't know. I didn't think it was gonna last. To be honest with you, I didn't think we'd get this far. Because a little peek behind the scenes. You do a lot of this work. I do have the job, and you do as well. But being a full-time dad is it's tough to do all of this sometimes, right? So I didn't, and my kids are a year and a half old. So you came to me and we did this in January. My kids were not even a year old at the time, and you and I know, kind of the personal stuff behind the stuff with my kids, and how touch and go it was for a while. So it was a little harder to do in the beginning, but now we've kind of gotten to our routine. And I feel like we have all the momentum in the world. But initially, I was like, let's see how long this goes, and let's see if we can maintain this. But I think we've done a great job, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for us. I do want to say on the show, and again, I know you're going to clip this, and everybody's going to love it.
I'm not going to clip this. I'm not going to clip this. This is just
thank you for all that you do. You handle a lot of the scheduling with the interviews. You handle a lot of the, you handle the social media account. You handle most of that. So thank you for letting me be along for the ride and contributing what I can. It's a lot of fun. I look forward to it. This is a nice outlet to express kind of, that creativity and just talk about wrestling, right? We both love wrestling. And that's all we wanted to do with this is just get it out there. If anybody wants to join, awesome. If you guys want to talk with us, awesome. But it's gone a lot longer than I actually thought it was going to go. So, shout out to us for making it work.
I mean, this is episode 89. We'll be celebrating 100 in January. How many episodes did you think that we would actually get to before this kind of just went chin up, tits out?
Was that 5? I think after we recorded it on the phone, I was like, what the hell are we doing?
Well, I mean, look, I figured that we should at least the last couple of moments of this last episode of the year show appreciation, and I know that we've sent out a video to everybody that has been along for this journey, but I mean, like when we really think about everything that we have done this year, we have had some spectacular interviews. We're still waiting for Cornelius Pepperbottom. He's still big time in us. I don't care. Our people are
He's
talking
never
to
going
his
to come
people.
on
It's a whole
now
thing.
because Phil's in the Fed.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed still. Dude, we made it onto Fightful without even fucking trying. That's pretty impressive. Like, yeah, I know.
That's when we sucked.
Yeah. I mean, but that was we did not have a great tech setup like that.
No.
At all. Yeah, so that we've gotten to go see some pretty awesome shows together.
I went to SummerSlam.
Yeah, went to SummerSlam, and then
Probably going to go again if you're in Cleveland.
Yeah. We can avoid saying the C word, but whatever, sure.
I didn't say the C word. Hold on now. I'm respectful.
That town up north, okay, and not to be confused
God.
with the other one across the border. Fine. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Get
but
you a Joe Flacco jersey.
I swear, if you get me a Joe Flacco jersey,
Oh, it's definitely coming now.
You know what? Because this is a new year, a new us. I'm just gonna take a step back.
Just gonna go order it right now.
No, you're not. Let's not do that. Realistically, we greatly appreciate everybody that has been along for this ride in 2023. I know that we're rehashing a lot of the stuff that we said in our thank you video, but this was, he said it. He had no idea how this was going to go. I sure as shit didn't. I just knew that I wanted to talk wrestling, and he had the least punchable face. So
for now, what are you size medium?
Please don't order me. Please don't buy me that.
Size medium? Is that what you wear?
Please don't buy me that. Please don't buy me that. I'm just gonna burn it.
I'm gonna buy you the 5XL and see how that goes.
I'm just gonna burn it. No. Don't please don't do that. Please don't do that.
No,
anyway,
Eric, you're right. This has been fun. It's been a lot of fun. We're gonna keep going. We want you guys along for the ride. Keep letting us know what we do right, what we do wrong. We got to interview wrestlers. It's the coolest thing ever. I was bragging to my wife. I'm like, I have 7 wrestlers following me on Twitter on my personal account.
Yeah,
and I don't tweet. So
that's the beauty of what we do. Quite frankly, it is just the greatest business in the world. And I think if there was any message that we want to impart as we go into 2024 is just chill the F out. Like, wrestling is fun. Wrestling is awesome. We don't have to like everything. He and I definitely don't agree on everything when it comes to what a professional. We just don't. And that's okay, because it'd be a hell of a lot more boring if we did. But that's no reason to attack or unnecessarily criticize. Like, if you have a thought on something, at least be able to back it up. Give some context as to why you may not like something.
Because I'll come at you real hard if you don't. Looking at everybody that said Rhea Ripley wasn't the best female wrestler of the year.
There's a lot to say about the defenses of the title run, and the quality of the title run.
We're not going to get into it now.
See how easy it is to just go down that rabbit hole?
We're not going to get into it now.
It's just
almost an hour in.
Well, this is our last show of the year. I think that we've deserved to go into an overrun, okay? The network doesn't mind.
I'm just saying. The network doesn't mind.
We're paying your contract.
The network doesn't mind, but the other network minds.
Okay, the network doesn't mind. His network minds. I don't have another network to answer to. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we call it a day for 2023, any final thoughts for our listeners, Chris?
Call it a year, not a day.
As we call it a year, any final thoughts?
That's that red wine. Yeah, let's have fun. 2024 is going to be a big year in wrestling.
On too.
We've established what we want to see, kind of our predictions.
Yeah,
let's have some fun. That's just how it goes. Let's get to 1,000 and let's just keep this shit going.
Yeah, I mean that's really about it. Is our goal is 1,000 followers, listeners across all of our social media
Subscribe on
platforms.
YouTube.
Yeah, seriously, help us to get that up. I mean, we're at like 77 there, which is great, but could be better.
Let's keep
Like
going.
we're seriously, if you know even one person that would enjoy our podcast, just tag them in it and let them decide for themselves. Worst case, they don't. World keeps on spinning. But we're gonna keep doing this because, quite frankly, there is not really anybody else that I would want to talk wrestling with on a daily basis than you. Yeah, I'll get all boo hooey and sappy here, and that's absolutely true. No, this is just me. It's not that. I mean, come on. You pointed me out at a Beer Olympics wearing an Edge T-shirt. Like that's
how it started.
We were gonna be friends from that point forward.
Whispering to my wife, like, that's the Edge T-shirt. as I had my shirt off, by the way.
Yeah.
That's right. Where that night was. I forgot
about that. Yeah. That day got out of hand very quickly.
As they do.
But anyway, we appreciate everybody that listens. We appreciate everybody that has subscribed. Thank you so much for making this a magnificent 2023 for the Wrestling Junkies. We sincerely cannot thank you enough. So again, continue to like, share, subscribe. We'll be back on what, Tuesday? First episode 2024. Let's do it.
Tuesday to recap World's End.
Recap World's End. We got some day one to cover, and then we're going right into New Year's Evil. So we're right back at our schedule.
Never stops.
So it doesn't. But that's the beauty of wrestling. Again, just be cool. Like it. Seriously, it's wrestling. Life ain't that serious.
It's not.
Yeah, just be nice. So
from Great
Cincinnati / Taco Tully. It's podcast / Johnny Van Frank. Happy New Year. This is Wrestling Junkies Podcast. We'll talk to you guys next year.
Look at it.